Please listen carefully.
What's up, everybody? David here, and this is Splendid, episode number 6. Been gone for a couple weeks, or took a little break, I guess. I've been working a lot, which is gonna be my little excuse for being lazy on this podcast. No, I have been working a lot. Trying to save up my monies. I was trying to save up all my monies to afford this tattoo that I got on my hand. And if you've gotten tattoos before, you are aware that they are not particularly cheap. So had to save up my money to get this done. I was gonna get this covered up. If you recall, I was gonna cover this whale on my arm, but you know what? I changed my mind, and I decided to go on my hand. It spoke to me. The design spoke to me, and I've been wanting to get my other hand done for a while. So I went and I did it. It's all up in my face. When you get a hand tattoo, you really just notice it because you see it all the time because you're using your hands and stuff, and it's just there, you know, all up in your grill. I don't really notice this one on my other hand as much because it's kind of off to the side. So from my perspective, it's not super prevalent, but this one, just blam, and I love it. I love it to death. I've always liked the look of just being covered in tattoos, you know? I've known for a while. Sometimes you just know. If you're a tattoo person, you don't even question it. You cover everything. You just go and you get tattoos. That's what you do. So yeah. Got to go to the tattoo shop, one of my favorite places on earth. The sounds of the machines, the smells of alcohol and green soap, yum. I would drink green soap if I could, if it wouldn't kill me. Yeah, tattoo shops it's like stepping into a whole new world. I don't know the words. Yeah, it's a whole new world in there. Most of the time they're just blasting fucking heavy ass music. Or some hardcore gangster rap or something hard. It's gotta be hardcore. It's always gotta be just like really in your face. Or at least in all of my experiences, that's how it's been. You know, I've never walked in and heard country or some pop music. Or maybe some like Enya or meditation, sounds of the forest, things like that. Which I always thought might be a kind of a good idea. Might be a nice little change of pace, you know? Get some sounds of the forest in there, some spa music, some nice relaxing Enya? I don't know. But it's always got to be real in your face and screamy, you know? Tattoo shops attract a lot of really colorful characters in and around the shop. There's always just really a lot of eccentric individuals, I suppose you could say. Like, I walked up to the shop and there was a dude in his 50s probably, and he was wearing a onesie, an adult onesie, and an adult diaper. on over the onesie, which I don't know, kind of defeats the purpose of the diaper a little bit, I guess. And he had a binky in his mouth, and he had a rattler. So, there's a big baby. It's a grown ass adult baby being baby like out in front of the shop. And I guess that's his thing. And you know what? That's cool. Whatever floats your boat, right? But yeah, he was just kind of hanging out there the whole time, talking to people outside the shop. We'd go and take breaks every once and again while we were doing this tattoo, and we'd go outside and I would listen to him talking to some other people, and they were talking about politics or something, some grown up stuff, and I was like, well, I hope people take your opinion seriously dressed like that. Probably not swaying too many people, On my last tattoo, this one that I got on my neck, this was a couple of years ago, there was a dude just milling about outside, and he had a full Casio keyboard, like a giant Casio keyboard, tied around his neck. He had like a necktie or something, and it was strapped to the keyboard somehow. It was just hanging around his neck, and he was just walking about playing the piano and singing songs and stuff. Long ass dreadlocks, like feathers in his hair. That's a person. That's a person that exists. He's a real person. A modern day bard. Singing songs for his minstrels. But that's cool. That was cool. He wasn't bad either. I like people like that, Pave their own way through life, just doing whatever. We used to get a lot of at the shop that I worked at. We were in, I guess you could call it a seedy part of town, a little bit dingy. We had a lot of prostitutes walking about, and there was this one that would walk up and down in front of our shop all the time, and she wore this skirt, what looked to be the same skirt every single day, and like this white tube top. And the first few passes, she would have the tube top on, sturdily in place, and then eventually, the tube top would just come on. It would just come down, and she would just be walking around with tits flapping everywhere, boobies in your face. Just like, fuck the top. Whatever. The customers want to see the goods, so here they are. Good marketing, I guess. I mean, here it is. Take it or leave it. I'm surprised she didn't disappear or get arrested. She made it for a while, walking around topless. We were on a main strip of road too. I feel like a cop would have picked up on that pretty quick, but I guess not. We called her the captain of the swim team, and I'm not really sure where that name came from. Just one of those names that comes about. Captain of the swim team. Or the Little Mermaid. What with the toplessness and what have you. We had this dude come in. He was super old. Came in, he had this big brown paper bag, and comes in, he's like, all right, I've got this new revolutionary product, and you guys, you're one of the first shops that I came into, and you're going to want to jump in on this and get some of this stuff because it's going to revolutionize the industry, and you're going to want to, you're going to want to get in first, and everyone's going to be coming to you because I have this ointment that you put on the tattoos as you're doing them, and it will completely numb the tattoo. They won't be able to feel Your clients won't be able to feel that they're even getting a tattoo. It's amazing stuff. And we're just kind of like, what? Dude was a kook. He was crazy. Real out there. And so we had these little bottles of ointment, 5-ounce bottles, 10-ounce bottles, something like that. $50 per bottle. And I take one and I look at the back, and the only ingredient in this is king cobra venom. So, hard pass on the venom there, guy. I'm not sure if they tested that on anyone, but I'm not sure you want to be rubbing cobra venom into open wounds. We're not looking to kill people. So, yeah, I think we're going to pass. I'm wondering if, he was probably just going up and down that strip to all the tattoo shops, seeing if anyone would bite. Get it? And I wonder if anybody did. I wonder if anyone actually bought that shit. So yeah. The Little Mermaid. You see, they're making a new Little Mermaid. They're making all the new Disney films. They're doing the real life versions of Disney films now. The Lion King and Aladdin, Little Mermaid. All of these Disney movies that came out kind of in my golden age, like right around when, between the ages of 5 and 10, right when I was loving cartoons, So they're coming out with all these new reboots of them. And the new Little Mermaid is being played by an African American actress, and people are all up in arms about it for some fucking reason. She's not the same color as Ariel. Who cares? Ariel's not even the original Little Mermaid. That story was written fucking 1800s or some shit. That story is old. And it's a mermaid. It's a fucking mermaid. She can be whatever color she wants. Can you imagine getting up in arms? Imagine being a person that gets up in arms, Can you imagine being one of those people? God, exhausting. Just getting up in arms about every fucking little mundane thing. Imagine being a racist. Huh? But yeah, that story's way before Disney. And it's actually really bleak, too. It's actually a really bleak story. All those fairy tales, Those old fairy tales they used to tell kids, and we're just like, here you go, kids, enjoy that. Think about that for a while. Yeah, the original Little Mermaid story, the Little Mermaid rescues the prince is drowning or whatever, and she saves him, and she falls in love with him right away, just within meeting him the first time, because fairy tale logic. It just accept it. There's a lot of question marks, but just go along with it. She falls in love with the prince, and she goes to the sea witch, and she's like, I want to become a human so I can be with him. And the sea witch is like, that's cool. I will turn you into a human. But one, I'm going to rip your tongue out. So you're going to be a mute. Hope you're okay with that. And then when you're turning into a human, it's going to hurt like a fucking bitch. It's going to just feel like your legs are on fire and daggers are stabbing into them. Also, when you're just walking around, normally, it's going to hurt a lot. Your legs are just going to hurt. So, that's cool. If you're cool with those things, not being able to talk and just constant pain, constant searing pain in your legs. If that dude is worth it, I will turn you into a human. She's like, fuck yeah, it's worth it. So she does it. Oh, the stipulation though is he has to fall in love with her and they have to be together. If he falls in love with anybody else, she dies. She turns into sea foam. Just goes away. So he better like ya. Otherwise this is all for naught. So she turns into a human and he falls in love with her. I think she's endowed with like a really beautiful voice. And she can dance really well or something like that. Even though it fucking tears her apart from the inside to just move around. But she's a really good dancer and apparently can sing without a tongue. Just a lot of oh. We're not going to be saying a lot of words. Not going to be singing a lot of words. So he falls in love with her. But then, yeah, eventually he just falls in love with someone else and marries someone else. So not very happily ever after. He just kind of bounces. But instead of dying, her sisters go to the sea witch and they're like, no, please don't kill our sister. We'll do anything. And so the sea witch asks for all their hair. They have long, beautiful, flowing hair. And so the sea witch wants it. I don't know. She's a fucking sea witch. She not wanting many things. I guess just hair. Give me some hair. So they all give up their hair. She gives them a dagger, and they're supposed to give it to the Little Mermaid so that she can use the dagger to kill the prince, and therefore save her life, and she can go back to swimming around as a mermaid. But she can't go through with it. She just loves the dude too much from those couple hours that they spent together. So she can't go through with it, so she ends up dying, and instead of turning into sea foam, she turns into a ghost, I guess. And she just floats around in purgatory for 300 years. So it was a really sweet story of love and the power of love. Pinocchio's super dark too. Like, Pinocchio's just a piece of shit in the original story. Like, Geppetto makes him or whatever, and he runs away, and he tells everyone that Geppetto, like, abuses him and shit. And so Geppetto goes to jail. And then Jiminy Cricket is in the story as well, except for Pinocchio fucking kills him with a hammer. So, bye, Jiminy Cricket. And then he runs off, joins the circus. I think. He joins something. I think it's a circus. And like his fellow carnies get all jealous of him and they hang him from a tree. And that's the end of the story. He just gets hung. He's a fucking asshole that kills crickets. Gets his pop thrown into jail. and then gets hanged from a tree. Dead Pinocchio. Sleeping Beauty, she falls asleep, and her dad thinks she's dead, and he leaves. So she's in this like house or castle or something, and then a random king comes walking through, and he busts in, and he finds her, and he knows she's alive, but she won't wake up. So he's like, "Oh, this is perfect. I'm just gonna rape her." So the king has his way with a comed out lady. And then she gives birth to his twins. I don't know, it's just that's not how Disney it's not how Disney portrayed it. I just got Grimm's fairy tales, so I've been reading a bunch of these stories. And they're so interesting. The different times, different times. I just read Cinderella, um, and it's pretty much the same. The beginning's pretty much the same leading up to it, but a few minor details. Uh, Cinderella goes to the ball, right? This prince is looking to court someone, and so Cinderella and her sisters go to this ball, which is actually like a festival that lasts 3 days. Um, and Cinderella dances with the prince, and the prince is, enamored with her. And so he only dances with her and won't dance with anyone else. And at the end of the first night, he's wanting to get down. He wants to, he wants to smash. So he's trying to go home with her, and she's like, no, she's a classy lady, she ain't gonna fuck on the first date. So she bounces out. She kind of has to sneak out, runs away, but the prince follows her, and she like hides in a pigeon coop or a pigeon house or something, and he has someone come and bust down the door with an axe. She manages to escape, but what the fuck, guy? That was a little bit creepy. Just a little bit rapey there, bud. So Cinderella just, I guess, goes back the next day, not weirded out by that transgression at all. So goes back to the ball, same thing. They're dancing with each other all night, having a great time, and then she bounces at the end. She goes and like hides in a tree, and he follows her again, and they chop down the fucking tree. Now, Cinderella, you should have learned by now, right? Like, at this point, you gotta be like, this dude has some murderous intent. Or something's wrong up in the old noggin, Something's not right. But she goes back again she goes back on the third night, and they dance, and she bounces, but the prince has planned for this time, and so he puts tar all over the front steps of, the place where they're holding this ball. And so she bounces out. She gets stuck in the tar, but manages to escape. But her shoe gets left behind. That's how her slipper, her glass slipper or whatever, gets left behind. It didn't just fall off her foot clumsily. No, the prince was trying to trap her like a rat. So she loses her shoe in the tar. And then it goes through that whole, I'm gonna find out whose shoe this belongs to by putting it on people's feet, and if it fits, then it must be her. Well, why don't you just look at their faces? Why is the shoe the gauge there? I'm sure that shoe fits a lot of people. Why don't you just look at her face and be like, oh, that's her. But again, fairy tale logic. It doesn't have to make sense. So he goes to their house, and the mother of the stepsisters, because the stepsisters want in on this, right? They want some of that royal D. They want some royal action. So he comes to their house, and the mom is like, all right, girls, you're going to have to chop your feet up because you got some gnarly big ogre feet. One of the sisters has giant ass toes, and the other one has these big old heels. Horse hooves. And so the mom's like, just cut that shit off. You're not going to need it when you're queen anyway. Like, you're not going to be walking around. So, and what's the use? Just chop that shit off. It'll fit right in that shoe. So first sister chops her toes off. Prince puts it on, not questioning why she's missing toes and there's blood squirting everywhere. Puts the slipper on and it fits. He's like, oh, you must be Cinderella, even though you look nothing fucking like her. But, you have to be, right? The shoe fits. So He starts taking her back. They were gonna get married. They're in the cart, and then blood's coming out of the shoes, and that's the indicator. He's like, oh wait, something's up now. I didn't notice before, but I noticed now. What with all the blood everywhere. So he returns her. This one's defective. And he goes to the other sister. Same thing, puts the shoe on, it fits, but she's missing some heels. Her heels be gone. And same thing, he notices the blood, returns her, tries it on Cinderella, it fits, they go, get married heavily after, and then a bunch of birds go and peck out the sister's eyeballs. So that they're blind for the rest of their life. That is their punishment for being just such hellacious bitches, really. They're terrible people. And now they're going to be walking around on stumps the rest of their life, too. So yeah, anyway, real interesting stories of, rape. Rape and love. So, anyways, I'm going to be shortening these podcasts, at least for the next couple of them. I'm going to try out a half an hour format. That way I can I feel like I can get more out. They're quicker. They're probably easier for you to watch. They're definitely easier for me to get out, and I want to get these out more frequently. I want to do at least 2 a week. So I'm going to just shorten the episodes for the next couple and see how it works out. And make sure to let me know if which you prefer. There's been a goddamn fly flying around this room, and it's really distracting me. Fucking flies, you know? What do they do? What is your purpose? What does a fucking fly do? Even your name. They're like, what does this animal do? It flies. Okay, we'll call it a fly. Then. What else does it do? It eats copious amounts of shit. That's what it does. And it fucking bangs against your windows and bangs against your light fixtures, and it just annoys the shit. I'm surprised I've kept my focus this long. It keeps distracting me, just that little fucking asshole sound. Banging against shit, you idiot. I've had a few insect pets in my house as of recently. I don't know. I don't know if it's something that's changed in me. If I'm just becoming more like, I don't know, sentimental, I guess. But like I had a spider that just posted up underneath my fridge. He made this big web. Right by my fridge, and he just chilled out there for like 3 weeks, and I was like, hey buddy. I named him Clyde the Spide, and he was there, just chilling with me for 3 weeks, and he would eat up all the little stupid bugs crawling around. But he disappeared. I don't know where he went, and I felt like a pet had died, Got a little bit sad. But right now, I have a fucking praying mantis that's living in or on and around the blinds on my kitchen window. And he just chills around there, and I don't know, he likes it there, I guess. He fucking snatched a fly out of the air the other day. I saws it. Just zoop, grabbed a fucking fly. This giant ass fly. This is like damn near his size. Just swooped it right up and just started nibbling away. I was like, fuck yeah, dude, do that more. Get rid of these flies, because I fucking hate them. Haven't named the mantis yet. But I don't know what that says about me. I'm getting all like emotionally attached to these small bugs. I'm extremely lonely, you guys. I can get friends where I can get them. Anyways, yeah, that's gonna be about it for this one. I'm gonna record another one tomorrow. Should be getting these out more frequently now that I have a little bit more time on my hands. I won't be working as much. So anyway, hope y'all are good, and I'll see you on the next one.